A very good morning to entire care family, honorable consultants, and my administrative management. Today our topic is on stress management. Dr. Kiran Dankala came from USA and he did MD, MPH. He is a physician currently practicing internal medicine in San Diego, California, USA. He was born in Guntur, India, grew up in Vijayawada, and graduated from Andhra Medical College, Visakhapatnam. He completed Doctor of Medicine in Internal Medicine from Bonn Lebanon Hospital, USA, and Masters in Public Health from West Virginia University, USA. He has a decade of clinical expertise in top-rated hospitals across USA. He is an author, speaker, and stress management consultant. His clients call him Dr. Calm because of his calm and reassuring nature. His book, Calm in the Midst of Chaos, answers all the common questions about stress. It discusses in-depth important topics like how to overcome moods, build better relationships, relieve financial stress, time management, and much more. He is the founder of Stress-Free Revolution, whose mission is help people live life of happiness and peace. His slogan is Calmness First because he believes calmness is the key to happiness. It is the key to performance, balance, and overall success in life. He is here today to share with us a few principles and techniques that help us be calm. Let us give warm welcome to Dr. Kiran Dankala. Sir, hearty welcome. So today we would like to enjoy your lecture, and the entire care family is very enthusiastic to listen. Most of the people will reach by 8:10. Okay?
That's great. Thank you.
You can start, sir.
Sure. Good morning, everyone, and thanks so much for being here early in the morning to listen to me. So, first of all, I'm very happy to be here, and it's a privilege to be speaking at CARE. And my intention is to help all of us together. We are in this world, all of us together, and we have stress. All of us have stress. I don't think there is anyone in this world who doesn't have stress. Maybe there is one person, but most of the other people have stress. So it was many years ago when I was undergoing a lot of stress that I stumbled upon certain principles and techniques, and they helped me calm down instantaneously. And it was very helpful for me. It's almost more than 10 years ago. And for that reason, I said, now I found the answer, but I want to share that answer. I want to share the solution to stress with other people. And that is how my journey has started. So initially I used to do little seminars here and there, and people liked them, and they said, it's very good, why don't you write a book? And so I ended up writing this book here, Calm in the Midst of Chaos. I have taken almost 5 years to write this book. So I want you to spend at least 5 minutes a day reading this one, because there is a lot of experience, insights, study. A lot of thought was put into writing this book to help people. So I'm going to be here only for the next half an hour to 45 minutes. But if you get the book, it is going to be with you all your life. Use it. I really encourage you to do that. Now, let's get into the presentation. Before we start the presentation, I would like to remind ourselves of a beautiful poem by Mother Teresa. Do it anyway. People are often unreasonable, irrational, and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are successful, you will win some unfaithful friends and some genuine enemies. Succeed anyway. If you are honest and sincere, people may deceive you. Be honest and sincere anyway. What you spend years creating, others could destroy overnight. Create anyway. If you find serenity and happiness, some may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today will often be forgotten. Do good anyway. Give the best you have, and it will never be enough. Give your best anyway. In the final analysis, it is between you and God. It was never between you and them anyway. This is such a powerful poem, and that it really helps me put things in perspective in life, especially when I'm going through difficult times. I remember this and say, you just have to do the right thing no matter what, and things will be all right. Now, let's talk about our topic today, preventing healthcare burnout, the essentials of stress relieving. This is our presentation title. There is one thing that I would like to start with, that is, every day you save so many lives. Do not forget to save your own life. You, as a doctor or a nurse or any person in the healthcare industry, you really help a lot of people every day. And in the process, where we work very hard to help others, we forget to take care of our own selves. Usually doctors, nurses, they don't have time to eat proper breakfast in the morning or time to eat lunch at the right time. Things are often delayed. And all these things eventually affect you. And also, there is so much stress in our lives, and they don't have time to relax. They're constantly trying to please the patients, other people around them, the corporate system, and the administrators, everyone. And so the same goes for the administrators too. They are trying to please many people at once. So it's not easy. I just want you to remind that your life is important too. Take time to take care of your life. Let's start with a little research. The stress secrets. What's going on? There is a study from the Journal of Patient Safety which revealed that hospital errors are the third leading cause of the death right after cancer and heart disease. That is very big. Right after means stress and medical errors are killing as many people as almost cancer and heart disease. That is very big number. So if we are taking a lot of energy and time to treat cancer and heart disease, I think we should also take a lot of time to reduce the errors. And most of the errors that human beings make is not because they want to make errors, because they are stressed. When you are stressed, when your mind is restless, you can't see things properly and you make errors, and that leads to problems. So I believe if we address the stress problem, the errors are going to come down and everyone is going to be happy. And the burnout statistics are shockingly high for doctors. If you look at it, 88% of doctors are moderately to severely stressed or burnt out. That is very big number. That means you're talking about almost 9 out of 10 doctors are stressed. The same is true for the nurses too. And of course, these are United States statistics. But I spoke with my friends here in India, in different hospitals, whether it is CARE, whether it is NIMS, or whether it is KIMS, or Continental. Everyone has the same problem. Everyone feels so stressed. I just did a conference yesterday at Basel Tarakam Hospital, and I asked them, there are 200 people in that room and ask them how many of you are stressed, 99% of people raise their hands. See how bad the problem is. So we don't need to go into the details of the statistics because we already know that we are stressed. Let's move forward to find the solutions. Now let me ask you a question. Why are so many people in this world stressed? There are 7.5 billion people in the world right now. We can safely say 70% or 80% of the people are stressed for one reason or another. Why is that? Why? Tell me, what do you think? Pressure, yes. What else? Yes. Yes, it's a lot of expectation, a lot of things to be done, a lot of tasks. Rat race. Limitation of time. What else, sir?
Rat race.
Someone said something. Rat race, you're absolutely right. Rat race. People are running after one thing after another. I want this car, I want this home, I want this job. Now I want to grow up to the next level. So people are constantly running to get things done. Yes, what else? So there are many reasons, but I think there are three primary reasons. Number one, no one ever taught us how to handle stress. Isn't it true? Let's say, how many doctors come out of, college and then start practicing medicine who doesn't have a degree? Everyone gets training, right? You get training to become a doctor. If you are a nurse, you get training to become a nurse, right? If you are a driver, you take some lessons, you learn how to drive, and then you go drive and do things. Now, if none of us get any stress management training, how are we supposed to handle it, right? And people expect you to be always happy, always be nice, always be smiling. How can you do that? No one teaches us, right? That is a problem. I just want to ask you, how many of you got any kind of stress management training? Anyone? No one, right? Yesterday I had the same question in the seminar. Out of 200 people, one person raised their hand that they got some kind of stress management training. And no wonder we are all stressed because we are thrown into this ocean of suffering and we need to somehow swim. And no one taught us how to swim. That is a problem. Number two, because of that, people think that stress is inevitable, that you have to be stressed, there is no other way. And so they don't even try to find solutions. They said, okay, it's okay, that's fine, that is my life. I'm going to be like this forever. That's okay. So that's a problem. Number three, most people do not know where stress is coming from in their life. And if you do not know where it is coming from, you cannot solve the problem, right? It's like a disease. Let's say someone has cancer, and you do not know where exactly, whether it is lung cancer, whether it is liver cancer. You often have very bad prognosis for such people. Usually, in medical terminology, cancer, metastatic cancer of unknown primary, are much more difficult to treat than the ones with known primary. The same way, stress is a kind of a cancer. I mean, you have all the symptoms and signs of stress, but you don't know where it is coming from. That's the reason people find it difficult to ignore stress. These are the three main reasons. Now, when do you feel stressed? I think there are only two times that I feel stressed. That is day and night, right? And where do you feel stressed? There are only two places where I feel stressed, work and home. It just shows that we are stressed 24 hours everywhere, whether at home, whether at work, and stress at home comes into your work life. Stress at work affects your personal life at home. Because let us say something bad happened at work. When you go home, you are going to say something bad. You are going to shout. You show your anger on your wife or husband, on your children. and then that leads to unhappiness. The same thing. Something bad happens there, you come here, and then you get into conflict with your colleagues or your boss or other people. So it's interchangeable. Okay? So it is there everywhere. Now let me ask you a question. Why do you want to get rid of stress from your life? Why? Why are you here? Why do you want stress out of your life?
To be happy and more comfortable.
To be happy and more comfortable. What else? Good.
Peaceful life.
To have a peaceful life. Okay. How many people have peaceful life here? Not many. What else? So I call them the 7 deadly consequences of stress. We don't want that. That's the reason we want stress out of our life, right? We don't want all the bad effects of stress. For example, when you are stressed, you are miserable, you are unhappy, you just don't feel good. And in that state, everything goes wrong, right? Number 2, your health is at risk. People who are stressed constantly in their lives, they get headaches, they get colds easily, and in the long term, they may get heart attacks, stroke, and many other problems, right? You don't want that too. That's the reason you want stress out of your life. Number 3, broken relationships. The divorce rate in India is rising very fast, catching up with the United States and other Western countries. Why? Because there is so much stress in our lives right now compared to what it was many decades ago. So, and also when people are stressed, they create bad work environment. There is a lot of ego between people. When you are stressed, ego comes in automatically. When usually people are happy and peaceful, the ego is sleeping, right? So that is what happens. And then people who are stressed, I call today, these days, they do what is called stress shopping. You don't feel good, you want to do something, so you just go buy something to make yourself feel good. So previously you need to go out somewhere, search for that item what you want, and then buy it. Now it's very easy. Just go on Amazon, right? Or Apple or any of these websites, you click, and then 10,000 rupees gone just like that, and sometimes 1 lakh rupees, depending on how much people can afford. And that leads to financial failure eventually with your bad spending habits. You make wrong decisions when you are stressed, and that is going to lead to poor financial performance. On top of it, people who are stressed, especially at work, we have high risk of making errors and mistakes. It can lead to workplace hazard, what we call, right? Accidents. And also people who are stressed, when they are driving, they are distracted, they are going to get into some kind of accident. And people who are stressed also are prone to addictions, like smoking, drinking, right? Or drugs these days. It's very sad. There's so much drugs actually in our country. And then finally, all these things will lead to personal and professional failure. Your life basically is going down the path of failure. That is what happens. So, stress has to be prevented at its root before all these things happen. Before all these things happen. That's the reason we are discussing this today. If you leave it alone, all these problems are going to come into your life. We have seen in the movies, right? And now latest movies as well as the old movies. When the heroine's father is very angry and he shouts, he suddenly gets a heart attack. Right? For so many movies that we have seen the same scenario. They even know at that time. Right? Or get a stroke. Or they smoke, get COPD, lung disease. Or they drink, get liver cancer or liver disease. Right? Also, on top of this, when people are constantly stressed in their life, they age faster. You may be only 40, but you may look like 50. None of us want to age faster, right? We all want to look young. So, for that at least, we need to keep stress out of our lives, right? And people who are stressed are also prone to suicides because they get depressed eventually, and then they feel their life is hopeless, and they do something that they are not supposed to do. And so much suffering for everyone. Someone commits suicide. And this is how we feel sometimes. I'm a little stressed. Leave the room quietly and no one gets hurt. Sometimes we don't even want to talk to anyone, right? When we are stressed. So, and there are some common misconceptions about stress for people. How many people think that stress comes from outside? Anyone on the phone there? Any responses? How many people think that stress comes from outside? How many people think that stress comes from outside? I can see you all. You can raise your hands. Feel free to participate, please. Feel free, okay? So many of us think that stress comes from outside. That is one misconception we are going to break as we move forward. And also, let us look at the other slide. Let's bring back the slide. The other misconceptions are that people think that alcohol, smoking and drugs release stress. But that is not true. Alcohol or smoking, they only cause a little bit of sedation initially or elation and make you mask the problem, what is already there. But the real problem is inside. It is growing like cancer inside. So one day you suddenly wake up and the problem is so big that you can't even deal with it. So it is only masking the problem. It is not relieving your stress. Number 3, a lot of people think that if there are no symptoms, that there is no stress. That is not true either, right? Sometimes you may have symptoms of stress, but sometimes you don't even know that you have symptoms. And all of a sudden, you get some kind of major complication, whatever it is. Relationship problem, financial problem, health problem, whatever it is. And this is an important one. A lot of people think that being stressed means being successful. And that is not true either, right? Yes. Is it possible when you are climbing the ladder of success that you may feel stressed? Yes, it is possible. But does it have to be that way? No. Most of the stress is preventable if you know some basic principles and techniques. So then you can continue to succeed but not be so stressed. Number 5, some stress is needed to stay motivated. How many people agree with me? At least in this room, everyone has raised their hands. I can't see you all, but I'm sure you're thinking the same. Now, it may feel like that stress is needed to stay motivated, but let me ask you a question. If you are constantly stressed and is under pressure to stay motivated so that you can perform better, what is going to happen? You're going to burn out. You're going to burn out. That is what is happening in the current society. There is so much pressure, there is so much expectation, and people are trying to perform. That as a motivation, the stress as a motivation. And then they are getting all kinds of problems, or reaping all sorts of health problems because of stress. Now, you do not need stress to keep you motivated. Actually, what motivates you is your innate spark to grow, to do better. That is what really motivates you. Everyone wants to grow in their life. Everyone wants to do better. That is what motivates you. It is not stress. But if you find a way to calm yourself and just keep that motivation on and keep stress at bay, you will be very happy, not just successful. You are very happy also, along with being successful professional. Okay? So let's go to the next one. So a lot of people, it is my short-term strategy for stress relief, right? People think that they can just take out their stress on other people, right? Maybe you may not go and kick other people, but sometimes we say bad things to our friends, family members, and others, right? But I think we have better solutions. That is the reason we are here to discuss them. I created a program called the Stress Mastery Program. And there are many benefits of it. Number one, you can turn off the stress alarm when you don't need it. You will develop stress resistance. You can perform under pressure and still be calm. You can build better relationships. You can achieve work-life balance. You can sleep better at night. And so you will enjoy better health. All that is possible. Okay? A little bit about my story, how I found my peace of mind. It was almost many years ago, more than 10 years ago, when I was under a great deal of stress in my life. I suddenly stumbled upon certain principles and techniques that helped me calm down instantaneously, which changed my life totally. I was so nervous, I was so anxious, I was so stressed and depressed at the time. But once I discovered this, it changed the trajectory of my life completely. I never thought that I will be a stress management expert or some teaching about this topic. It just happened so that after I learned this, I want to share with other people what I learned. That is how this started. Okay, let's go back. What is stress? I want to really hear your answers here. What is stress? What is stress? Please go ahead, tell me. What is stress? Give me your opinion. There is no right or wrong answer here. Just tell me what you think. That's fine. What is stress? Some people say stress is nervousness. Some people say heart attack. Some people say hormones. Different people have different definitions. Some people say pressure. And all of those are true to some extent. But stress at its core is a state of mind. Let's bring the slide back. Stress at its core is a state of mind where we feel unhappy and distressed. Just think about it for a second. That is what it is. And now let's look at the next slide. The 3 stages of stress. Most people equate stress to the signs and symptoms they experience but are unaware of the state of mind that actually trigger those symptoms. Look here. The state of mind is the beginning. Once you're unhappy and miserable for whatever reason in that state of mind, it releases certain hormones in your body, in your brain, and then that leads to the signs and symptoms of stress. Let me give you a little example. Imagine you are driving and then you're on the highway, your friend is sitting next to you, and on the way you saw there is a big accident and there is a lot of blood, doesn't look good. The ambulance is there trying to take care of them. And then you looked at it, you felt bad, but you said okay. And then you looked at your friend and you see your friend fainted, lost his consciousness. And you quickly woke up your friend. What happened? Get up. So your friend woke up after 2 to 3 minutes. And said, I felt so stressed looking at it, so this happened to me. I felt nauseous, I felt sweaty, and then in medical terminology we call it syncopal attack, right? So, and this happened. Now, can you see the 3 stages here? Number 1, your friend saw that, and for whatever reason, in her mind or in his mind, he felt not so good. And then that released certain hormones. And that led to the sign and symptom of stress. That is what happened, right? That is how every stressful situation in your life, if you closely pay attention, that is where it starts. If you can figure out a way for your mind to be not affected by that external circumstance, if you can figure out a way, then nothing can really do anything to you. You become stress resistant, like a bacterium that is resistant to all antibiotics. You become stress resistant. And that is our goal. And when we are in that state, nothing can really cause you so much trouble. You say, it's fine. I'll handle it. Okay, my boss gave me this new project. I'll handle it. That's fine. Or whatever it is. I have a relationship problem. I'll handle it. You won't be, you won't become hopeless when you have that strength. Okay? Okay. Now, the other important point that I want to make here is stress does not necessarily come from outside always. It appears like it is coming from outside. Let us say if stress is coming from that accident and from that blood, then also you should have fainted. But you did not faint, right? Only your friend fainted. Then which is true? Which is false? And if the blood and the bad scene there is causing stress to everyone, then all the people driving on the highway should have fainted. But that is not true either. Right? That means it is not really the circumstance that you are facing that is causing you stress. It may, if you let it, but you know that you have control over it. And once you know that point, half the problem is solved. Because you are no more worried about the circumstances. You are saying to yourself, I can handle it. And then, of course, we have to help you handle it, right? As a human being, we all feel stress sometimes, and that is okay, right? It's okay. We are human beings. To err is human, and to stress is human too. That's all right. But the problem is, instead of getting stressed once in a while, if you stay in a stressed state of mind constantly, that is a big problem. That is the biggest problem that we are facing in the society. When things happen, people are not letting them go. They keep thinking about those problems and they are remaining stressed. We all move up and down this, what I call is a stress-peace continuum. On the bottom end is stress and the top end is peace. Right? Do you know people who are always stressed, no matter what is going on? They are always snapping at other people, angry, outbursts, anxious, worried. There are people like that. Do you know people who are mostly peaceful in their lives? There are some people like that too. And our goal is to leave this stress and go on to this peaceful part of the spectrum, on the continuum. That is where we want to be. And the more you understand certain principles and the more you practice them, you automatically will stay at the top. That is our goal. Now, there are two kinds of stress, acute stress and chronic stress. Acute stress is a protective response. We all know as medical professionals, right? When things happen, like an illness, some kind of threat, we feel stressed. Certain hormones are released in our body to cope with that stress. But usually in the next 30 to 40 minutes, the hormones have done their job and they are gone, typically. Sometimes a little longer, but eventually they are gone. That is acute normal physiological response. Now, chronic stress is when you continue this stress response for a long time. So, let's look at an example that demonstrates this point. Why zebras don't get ulcers. There is a wonderful book written by a researcher by name Robert Sapolsky. So, imagine a zebra being hunted down by a lion. And hopefully, the zebra escapes from the lion. And if the zebra escapes from the lion, usually after 30 to 40 minutes, it comes back to its normal state. It moves on, mixes with the herd, grazes, and for the zebra, the lion is gone. It's done. It has forgotten about the lion. Now, imagine the same thing happening to a human being, like you or me. Let's say you went on the African safari tour. You got on the bus, despite the other guy telling you not to get on the bus. And then you were straying around, and then you saw the lion there. And you froze in fear. Don't know what to do. And the lion is ready to jump and attack you. And you still couldn't move. You're frozen. All of a sudden, you hear a gunshot. Someone did that. And then the lion escapes from there, and so you escape from the lion too. You quickly run back to the bus, sit there panting, sweating, nauseous, not feeling good, and maybe after 30 to 40 minutes, you come back to, your body comes back to probably its normal state. but your mind doesn't stop. That is what happens for us. You are thinking, why the hell I did this problem? You start criticizing yourself. Or you criticize the lion. How come this lion is attacking me? I'm an animal activist. The lion should know that. You start thinking irrational thoughts sometimes. Or you say, there are 1,000 people who came with me. Why me? Why me? There are other people also who got out of the bus. You think about a lot of things. And then you start saying, I hate these lions. I'm never going to come back to the African safari. And then you tell the story to everyone in that room, in that bus, the whole day. And then you can't sleep at night because your mind is revolving around the same issue. You have nightmares. And then next day you call your friend somewhere who is 1,000 miles away. And then you again recite the same story. And you continue to do that for the next few weeks to months. That is exactly what we do in our lives. This example may be a little dramatic, but most of the time that is what we do. We cling on to an event that has happened long back, sometimes years back. How many people have their struggle, their relationship problems with their in-laws here? How many people? Between your wife and your mother-in-law, or between your son and father-in-law, whatever it is. Or sometimes between brothers and sisters. Someone said something a week ago, 10 days ago, years ago, we cling on to them. Here the problem is, the lion has long forgotten the human being, but the human being has not forgotten the lion. That is the problem. And that is what turns the acute stressful event, whatever that happened in our life, into chronic stress. Now I'll ask you a question. What is it that is turning that acute stress into chronic stress? What is it? Your own thinking. Your own mind. Your own thinking. In fact, chronic stress is nothing but a repetitive, dysfunctional thinking program in our mind. We keep repeating things like a CD that is stuck. Constantly. You need to take out that CD from your brain. Otherwise you are going to die of stress eventually. Right? Does it make sense to everyone? It is simple. This is not rocket science. I'm not here to teach you rocket science. This is pretty simple. And that's the reason, because it's so simple, it is easy to implement. And you can find solutions to your life problem. Right? Now, let's go back to this. When chronic stress results from when we continue to respond to an acute event that is no longer present. And sometimes we create events in our mind that are not existent, right? We imagine a fearful future. What is going to happen tomorrow to my career? What is going to happen 5 years from now? Or how is my kid going to, he's only 3 years old now. Is he going to become a doctor 20 years from now? When we think all these things, right? Our mind can play tricks and create all this nonsense and cause stress to ourselves. Just be aware of that. Know that any time when things happen, know that it is your thought. Just take a look at it. Wait, you know what? I don't have to think about it. That's it. And we'll as we move forward, we'll find out more detail how to do that. And when all this chronic stress accumulates, it is called allostatic load, and that is what causes the all the chronic diseases. In fact, chronic diseases, most chronic diseases have their foundation on chronic stress. Now, let's come to the solution, the secret to calmness. So, I have created the system called the PET system for stress relieving. 3 principles, the 2 relaxation exercises and 1 technique. To make it easy for people, my primary goal in creating a system is, even if you spend 10 minutes a day, as little as 10 minutes, and don't tell me you don't have 10 minutes a day. Come on. Everyone has 10 minutes a day, right? Even if you spend 10 minutes a day, you can live a much better life than what you are leading right now. I will show you in a few minutes. Okay? Like, you keep your body healthy when you wake up in the morning. How many people come to work without brushing your teeth? I hope no one is raising their hand, right? None of us, right? To take care of our body. How many people come without taking a bath or a shower, right? Most of us do. And then you eat, right? You try to maintain your physical health as much as you can, and you spend at least a couple of hours a day. Why don't you spend like that 10 minutes a day to maintain your mental health? 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes. I'm not asking for too much, right? Right? And the more you do that, helping maintain your emotional and mental health, the better it is going to be. Like anything else in life, right? Whatever you focus on becomes better. So, as you move forward, you already saw some of these objectives. Where is the true origin of stress? The true origin of stress is your thought, right? It is coming from within. Number two, the next objective we are going to look at is the innate health and resiliency. Let me show you that. Innate health, there are two important concepts, innate health and resiliency. These are very important to know. Innate health is your natural state of mental well-being, where you are peaceful and happy without any conditions. What I call is unconditional happiness. No matter what your circumstances, as long as you are happy. Now you may say, what are you talking about? That is so difficult. But let me ask you a question. Do you all have kids? Most of us. And you have seen them grow up, right? When they are 2 years old, 3 years old. Most of the time they were happy, right? Happy, peaceful, cheerful, playing. Who taught them to be so? Did you teach them to be so? Did they read any books? No, right? Did they do any kind of stress management program? No, right? Then how come they are happy and peaceful to begin with? That is how we were all born. That is our natural state. It is called innate health, where your mental well-being is independent of any of the circumstances. Kids do not know whether you are a millionaire or whether you are a beggar. They still love you, father and mother, the same way when they were very young. We create all the unnecessary ideas in their minds later, right? So what we do is, as we grow up from these little kids into adults, we condition our happiness. Initially it is a toy. Every day daddy has to bring a toy for the child to be happy. And later it is a bicycle. And later it is a motorcycle. And later it is a car. And later it is a home. Later it is something else. Job, profession, this, that. We start creating all these conditions. I can only be happy when this happens. Or when I meet this goal. Now, that is the root cause of a lot of unhappiness in people. We are identifying our happiness with external conditions. That doesn't mean that you should not set goals or you should not strive to become better and grow in your life. Just do not equate your happiness to that thing, whatever thing that is. Do not equate your happiness to it. And once you disconnect that, you'll be fine. You say, okay, if it happens, it happens. I'm going to do my best. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. If everyone can think this way, then your boss won't be shouting at you, or you will be very unhappy and doing something bad in return, right? And so in your relationships with your wife, your husband, that's it. It is really pretty simple. And we are already born with it. So it is easy to get back there if we know certain things. So resilience is your capacity to bounce back from a stressful state of mind to a peaceful state of mind. And you have that capacity within you to be resilient. You have that within you always. You just need to access it. Right? No matter what happens, remember, you have that capability within you. And you can build resilience using the PET system that I'm going to share with you. Your resilience gets stronger and stronger. Let's discuss the 3 principles quickly. And maybe, before we do the 3 principles, let's do a small relaxation exercise, all of us together, for a couple of minutes, okay? Let's do that. You can change the screen too. All of us, let us please sit down here, wherever you are. Please close your eyes. Sit back in your chair. Please stop whatever you are doing and take 2 minutes for yourself. Everything can wait really. Nothing is going to happen. The world is not going to fall apart in these 2 minutes. Just follow the instructions if you could, please. Our ancient saints, India is such a great country. Our ancient saints have figured out that controlling our mind is very difficult. Controlling our thoughts is very difficult. But if you could control your breath, then you can control your mind. So they figured out a way to relax your breath so that your thoughts will slow down. All the restlessness will settle down. Let's do this. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes. Just sit back. Relax. Any problem comes to your mind, any thought comes to your mind, tell that you can wait for 2 minutes. It's okay. Okay? Just take a deep breath. One time. Take a deep inhalation. And then exhale. Let's stop clicking. Let's take a deep breath. Exhale. Sit down and take these few deep breaths. You'll notice that your breath is slowing down. Continue to do that for the next 2 to 3 minutes. You know, your happiness is with you. Whatever happened a day ago, an hour ago, even 5 minutes ago, it's no longer existing. And whatever that you are thinking about the future, it is not yet here. Future is a figment of your imagination. You just imagine it. It's not there yet. Then why create fearful future? Stay present. There is only one moment at any point of time. That is this moment. This moment. Take a deep breath. That is the only moment that you have. You can't breathe in and breathe out at the same time, right? You can only do one thing in that moment. That's the moment. That is the truth. Just be with your breath. Observe it. Just observe it. That's nothing more, nothing. Everything in it. Be with yourself. Give yourself a few minutes. Be happy in this. You need to stay here longer and longer. You can feel more and more peaceful. Whenever you are ready, you can come out of the state. Let's go back to the screen where you can see people. Can we go back to the screen where you can see people? How are you guys feeling? Feeling good? Feeling good? You see, it only takes really 2 to 3 minutes. It really doesn't take hours to feel better. If you learn this simple relaxation exercise during the day when you are so busy, take 5 minutes. Wherever you can, get into your car or get into wherever you have 5 minutes time, space, small space, sit down, sit in the chair and relax. And your mind is going to feel much clearer. You'll gain clarity and then it just feels better. I mean, everyone here, raised their hand. So you see, it is simple. It is not rocket science. So let's go back to the slide now. Now, that's a relaxation exercise, and then the three principles are mind, consciousness, and thought. So, mind is the source of all energy and life, and then thought is the force that directs our life. And consciousness is your ability to be aware of life and its experiences. Let it make it really easy for you. Just too dry otherwise. Let me give an example. Imagine you are driving a car. Or actually you want to drive a car. Okay? And then you sat inside the car. You turned on the ignition. But the engine wouldn't start. And you again tried, it wouldn't start. And it says on your dashboard, engine malfunction. Your engine is not working. Now, can the car go forward without the engine? No, right? Now, that engine can be compared to your mind. Can you do well in your life if your mind is dysfunctional? You cannot. You may think that you are doing well, but you are not really progressing in life. So a stressed mind is a dysfunctional mind. So you need to keep stress out of your life, out of your mind, so that you can do that. Okay? Now, number 2. Now the mind is working fine, the engine is working fine. You sat in the car, you hold the steering wheel, you start the engine, but the steering wheel doesn't move. Now, can you drive? No, right? Now, the steering wheel can be compared to your thought. Like you drive the car using that steering wheel and go to like a beautiful place. Let us say, your favorite place wherever you want to visit, right? Or you can go to a bad place and get stuck in traffic and have trouble, right? The same way, using the steering wheel of your thought, you can decide where you want to go. You use your thought as a steering wheel and decide, okay, I'm going to think good thoughts, positive thoughts, and I'm going to reap positive results, or I'm going to think negative thoughts and I'm going to reap negative results. It is as simple as that. Whatever you are thinking, that is what you are going to feel. Your emotion is directly linked to your thought. Does it make sense? If you are thinking bad all the time, how are you going to feel? Happy? No, you are going to feel unhappy, right? And try to think positive thoughts and make a very bad negative face. It is just not possible. So thought is the steering wheel of your life. You can decide and you can turn it any time. If you're thinking something bad, just turn it around and think something good. It is like if you're driving in this direction with your car in the bad direction, wrong direction, and your navigation tells you go this direction, you simply turn it to the right direction. It's as simple as that. Okay? So thought, we have the steering wheel for your life in your hand. And consciousness can be compared to the windows and the windshield in the car. For example, you are driving, and then let's say you want to drive, but the windshield and the windows are covered with dust. Can you drive forward? Can't see anything, right? The same way, when your mind is clouded, your consciousness is low, your awareness levels are low, you're going to get into accidents in life because you can't see things clearly. Calmness is the cleanser of that. So you clear it, and you're fine, and you should be okay. So using these three principles of mind, consciousness, and thought, you drive wherever you want to go in your life and you should be fine. And that is what really it is. There's nothing much more. There is much more about this. I just want to show you this, okay, because we are almost out of time. I have this book, Calm in the Midst of Chaos. I have spent a lot of time, almost 5 years of my time, as much as med school, medical college time, working on this one. And there is a lot of valuable information. I don't make too much money out of this, okay, but I want you to buy it and use it for your own benefit. You will really have all these techniques and exercises and the principles and many more things that are going to help you, okay? I think it should be available on Amazon and other things too. So, but I'm open to any questions that you have. I know we only have a little time left, but I'm open to any questions. Yes.
Influence the outside factors like the external factors. Right?
Yes.
So sometimes obviously that affects the mind. So
Yes.
how to manage that?
Yeah. So this is what it is. When your mind is calm, your ability to overcome outside challenges is going to be better. Because you never know what is going to happen. I just got an email this morning, about something that is not such a good news. There is nothing I could do about it. I will do whatever I can, but I should not let that affect my mental state as much as I can. But as you practice calmness more and more, then automatically the number of challenges around you, they will diminish. It's like, for an example, if you are like Mike Tyson, so strong, then you can almost win any challenger outside you. Anyone is coming into the boxing ring, right? The same way, if you become Mike Tyson in stress management, in being calm, then most of the challenges in life, you can knock them out. And then you can actually prevent a lot of stress in your life, because when your mind is calm, your inner wisdom, your intuition works very well. And then you kind of prevent a lot of problems. But when your mind is restless, we tend to make a lot of mistakes. And then we create our own problems in a way. Apart from the unexpected problems, we create our own problems, some of them. So it is really calmness first. If we practice calmness, most of the problems can be solved.
Thank you, Kiranji. Thank you very much. It's almost time over. Just I would like to go fast. Care Hitech, I will ask personally. We can come and meet Dr. Kiran. And it's a wonderful presentation. Now we open for questions. For Care Bhuvaneshwar, any questions? Care Bhuvaneshwar, any questions? Banjara. Care Banjara? Any questions, sir?
Yeah, no questions. Session is very nice. Thank you.
My
Care
pleasure.
Nagpur?
A very good morning, Dr. Kiran, for the wonderful presentation on stress and talking on calm. I just want to know one thing from you regarding work-related stress. Is it affect differently for a person working with others and a self-employed? Because the same stress, it affects differently. And is it true? And if it is, then can you throw something on that?
Thank you very much, sir. Can you repeat the question one more time? I didn't completely get it because the clarity is not that good.
Yeah. Dr. Kiran,
Yes.
yeah, am I audible now?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. In work-related stress, same kind of stress, it affects differently when the people they work for others or work with other and for the self-employed person. Is it true?
Whether the work-related stress affects other people around you, is that what it is?
No.
The question?
When we are working for others and when we are self-employed, same stress, is it affect differently?
When we are working for others versus when we are working for ourselves.
Yeah.
Is it the same kind of stress and how does it? Yeah. So, yeah, that is a good question. Yes, there are certain factors between working for ourselves and working for other people. When we are working for ourselves, we feel more, we have more autonomy. We can choose what we want to do. But when we are working for others, sometimes it is difficult because they may have expectations of you and you may not have the resources provided for you to do things. But at the same time, I have two roles. Number one, I work for someone else in my job, and then for my own business, I work for myself. I see there are challenges on the both sides. The reason is, when I'm working, for example, for my own business, for myself, then there is so much work to be done. I am constantly thinking about it 24/7, how to improve the business, for example. When I'm working at my job, at least for me, once I'm done with the job, it is done. Of course, there are times when there are expectations, you feel it is not right or it is not realistic. Those kinds of things are there. So, the solution that I do have for either is, again, I really mean calmness first. The more we can find calmness in our lives, those challenges become easy to overcome. No one can remove the challenges in our lives. Each one of us are given different challenges in life. But your strength is going to increase as you become more calmer, as you become more resilient. So that's the reason I say, even if you spend like 10 minutes, just 10 minutes initially, take time, relax, read a little bit of the book. I spent 5 minutes writing this book. Spend 5 minutes on this book a day. Just 5 minutes. It is going to create significant change in life over a period of time. And actually, we have seen in 2 minutes, most of the people felt relaxed. But it's a very nice question. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Kiran.
Thank you, sir. Now it is Care Corporate, sir. Any questions from Care Corporate?
Can you hear us?
Can't hear you.
Hello?
Again, speak up, sir. I think we can hear you, but the voice is has to be louder, I think. Either the mic has to be adjusted.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Probably it's one of the most stress-free presentation that we have seen. Thank you for a wonderful presentation. Only one small question I have is, sometimes we fail to identify the source of stress. What do you suggest to identify the source of stress?
Okay, that's very good. The true source of stress for all of us is really our thinking. That is the core where it is coming from. No matter what the circumstance, for example, let me give you an example. Something happened and you looked at it like in our example before, right? The car, the accident, and you're thinking about it. And so you felt stressed. Now, imagine different situation. Whatever you're looking at it did not register in your mind because you're listening to the music or you are talking to your friend. You did not even register whatever that happened. In a way, your mind is disconnected from that event, whatever it was, right? So, the point to really make here is, it is really your mind, sir. It is my mind. everyone's mind, thinking about the event. That is the root cause of most chronic stress. That doesn't mean that, there are times when events happen, when we feel stress, that is acute stress. That's okay. You have to handle the acute stress. If a lion is coming after you, or if some kind of illness is there, or some other threat is there, you need to handle it, you handle it. But do not let that continue. Let it go with the event. And again, sometimes there are events in our life that are constantly are there, right? Constantly are there to bother us. Again, I come back to the same point. The more you practice calmness, those events will bother you less and less. And actually things change. Things change. I can tell you by experience. The calmer you are, suddenly people around you start becoming nicer, better. Somehow that happiness comes back to your life. In a way, I'll give you a little example. Calmness is like a bulletproof suit that you wear. If you are very calm, that bulletproof suit of calmness is going to prevent all those bullets from harming you. The bullets may be still there, but they won't be able to do too much to you. I hope that answers your question. Most stress comes from our own thoughts. We perpetuate it. And calmness is really the solution, and the PEG system will help you find that calmness.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Any more questions from corporate? So thank you very much. So if anyone has a question, please share it with me. I will share my mail ID and I will share with Dr. Kiran. As he said, this book will help all of us. So if you want to buy, let me know. It's also available in Amazon. So I am closing the session. So I am requesting Care Hitech. If you want to ask any questions, please ask. Care Hitech.
Hello everyone. No questions from you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Kiran.
My pleasure. Thanks a lot.
Very wonderful presentation.
Thank you.